Welcome back to the show, everybody. Well, check it out. The Bitcoin Maxis are at it again as they create more XRP FUD, and I think I might know why, and you're going to hear from David Schwartz as well, and he'll tell you how much XRP he holds. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.08 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 1.3%. Good afternoon. 26,100 plus for Bitcoin right now, 1,574 and change for Ethereum. Tether market cap is 83.1 billion plus. XRP 49 cents, slipping 2.6 on the 24-hour. Let's get started. It's linked to, ladies and gentlemen, your access to private investment. And would you look at this number of registered users right here, 304,000 plus and growing quickly. Listen, I used to think that link to was just for the ultra wealthy, but it's not. All you got to do is go sign up and get started today. Make sure you check out the link underneath the video for my sponsor. ETHgate players have known the power of Ripple and XRP all along since day one. We remember that if you don't know this and you're new to the space, Vitalik Buterin actually spent a couple weeks on Stephen Thomas's couch at Ripple and got the last bit of information he needed to go off and start Ethereum. Understanding the developments of ETHgate today, one has to wonder, was his visit to Ripple very benign, or was there some other objective of him going there and learning what he could? We don't know the full answer to that, but let me tell you, I do believe that is why Ripple and the SEC targeted Ripple and used the lawsuit as a weapon, because I do personally believe that there was regulatory capture of the SEC. And I do believe that William Hemman and Jay Clayton and maybe some others participated in the help of getting ETHgate the free pass that it received. Listen to what Vitalik Buterin said back in the day.
Really, what Ethereum is, people talk a lot about cryptocurrency 2.0 being like the internet of value. We're not the internet of value. Ripple is the internet of value. We're an arbitrary processor for state transaction functions.
There you go. So even Vitalik Buterin knew that they weren't the internet of value. Ripple was. Pretty interesting. And then we have this. Oh boy. Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy has acquired an additional 5,445 Bitcoin for $147.3 million at an average price of $27,053 per Bitcoin. As of September 24, MicroStrategy holds 158,245 Bitcoin acquired for $4.68 billion at an average price of $29,582 per Bitcoin. Now, look, well, you talk about being all in. I said, yikes, even I've got a more diversified portfolio than MicroStrategy here. Look, I'm not trying to throw shade, but this just happens to be a fact. Michael Saylor was one of, if not the biggest loser in the dot-com bubble, losing over $13 billion. Now, whether it's Bitcoin, XRP, or some other asset that you're all in on, you better ask yourself the very real question. Will you remain wealthy and rich after a crash, should it happen, no matter what you're in? Because Michael Saylor will, because he did during the dot-com bubble. Maybe that's why he's able to feel so confident to walk out on such a limb. Meanwhile, we see this. El Salvador Bitcoin Advisor shares 32-year-old patent paper to claim that XRP is centralized. Oh, boy. Boy, this smells just like, yep, Max Keiser. Max Keiser, the Bitcoin advisor to Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador, who has deemed legal tender for Bitcoin, has taken to the X platform to unleash his hate about XRP. Don't let it confuse you, ladies and gentlemen. He shares this old patent here, for which we know includes the name of Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz back in 1991. This is why a lot of people, including myself, believe that David Schwartz may have played a significant role in Bitcoin, because it looks more really centralized about the way Bitcoin would work to me. However, Max Keiser was using this to say that XRP is centralized, as you can plainly see from the patent. But, you know, look, all of this is refuted by none other than David Schwartz himself. Let's get right to it. David Schwartz recently took to Twitter to clear the air surrounding allegations made by the user, Max Keiser. And it says the user implied that the protocol behind the XRP cryptocurrency has centralized design that disproportionately empowers and enriches the top 1%. David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, says that it is not accurate. He goes here and rejected the claim of centralized enrichment. Schwartz emphasized that the XRP is structured to empower anyone desiring to utilize the ledger for tracking the ownership and exchange of assets. He stated the top 1% of what exactly? XRP empowers anyone who wants to use the ledger. You know, where does this motivation come from Max Keiser, and why now? I don't know the answer, but maybe this is why Max Keiser is so upset. XRP surpasses Bitcoin and Ethereum in daily transactions. Total transactions crossed 2.6 billion. During an interview with Marcus and Franger here, VP of XRP Ripple Growth, pointed out that the XRP network constantly witnesses over 1 million daily transactions due to its remarkable speed. You know, I just covered a clip of an 8-year-old interview with David Schwartz, and we're going to hear a different clip today before we get out of here. And he basically said in there that there were people back 8 years ago using primarily the XRP ledger to move Bitcoin because it was faster and cheaper to do so. And it still is today. No question about that. Then we see this. Shout out to Stellar.org and shout out to Danelle Dixon and XLM and the XLM community. I am a proud XLM holder. You guys know that. And I like what she says here, but we may get some pushback on this. Take a listen to what she says.
The U.S. will put some sort of framework around it, or when do you think this will be adopted at mass scale?
So the framework needs to happen this year. We need stablecoin legislation this year. The U.S. doesn't do it this year. They've completely missed the boat. So that is going to happen, I believe, in the fall. So I think.
Okay, so that may be happening in the fall. We're approaching the fall now. So will that happen? I don't know. And believe me, I want Danelle Dixon to be so right. You don't even know. But Eleanor Tarrant reminds us here that we are only 4 days away from a possible government shutdown. If this occurs, the SEC could stay open in full capacity, continue to do rulemaking, and bring new enforcement actions. It has leftover money from the fiscal year. If not, the agency would be limited in its ability in rulemaking, and new cases would be reserved for emergencies only. The next deadline for the BTC spot ETFs is mid-October. These may not be considered essential and could therefore mean more delays if the SEC shuts down. Okay, now with that, remember, Dodd-Frank Act changed the SEC funding structure to allow it no-year money that would not be subjected to a government shutdown. In every shutdown since 2010, the chairs of the SEC would be able to fully stay open for a part of the shutdown. So we have to watch and see if the funding is going to get put forward. Everything in the government happens in the 11th hour. I would not expect a shutdown, but if it happens, it looks like the SEC's got the dollars to stay open. And what might Gary Goldman Gensler do during that time period should it happen? No telling with this guy. Then there's this. Mr. Casterman explains how XDC is integrated into, listen to this, the Electronic Trade Document Act, which was enacted just days ago, September 20th, 2023. It allows the desire to increase the velocity of the balance sheet by extending liquidity. This is amazing for XDC, which works in the supply trade world very well. Take a listen.
balance sheet capacity, the desire to increase velocity of the balance sheet. But definitely this is what we're doing on the TFD initiative side, is to basically automate the repackaging, but potentially in the future as well, the tokenization of indeed IPOs, whether they have been originated in proprietary formats or under the ETD Act or under EPU. That's an origination discussion, but on the distribution side, it's really transforming those portfolios of irrevocable payment undertakings into nodes for institutional investors to basically get exposure on and act as partners for lenders, banks and non-bank lenders, in terms of extending more liquidity and helping the lender increase balance sheet velocity. So that's what we're doing on the TFD initiative side, with technologies offered by TradeTech and XDC network, a layer 1 blockchain for tokenization. And it aims at demonstrating how the end-to-end transaction can basically bring capital markets liquidity when banks and alternative lenders need it to fund SMEs. And there's a very nice bridge there to establish with the ETD Act in the origination space, the repackaging option in the distribution space, and making sure that we help at industry level any type of lender, could be a bank, factoring company, supply chain finance platform, backed or not by ECA like UKEF, and making sure that the lenders get more liquidity capacity to fund the SMEs on the back of IPOs.
And there you have it. So look, this is exciting to me because we're seeing the Electronic Trade Document Act, which he's highlighting here, provide a path forward for how XDC can be integrated inside of the use for small, medium enterprise and other entities. This to me is extremely exciting. Like, we're starting to see things be put through that allow the integration of these digital assets and what they can do. Oh my, oh my. Then this here from Rathacommon and Novati Group here, Novati empowering global transactions. They've partnered with T-Bank since 19 to optimize T-Pay Remit app, elevating remittances between Australia and Bhutan, which we know has a pilot for CBDCs with Ripple. Transparent, efficient, and user-friendly. It says T-Pay Remit is an app for payments based in Australia, Bhutan. They claim here Novati is optimizing the app, presumably with their XB suite. It says Novati is a Ripple partner, and of course Bhutan, the Ripple CBDC pilot. Interesting possibilities, nothing confirmed. And then this post here from Minus Wells. Ripple's global payment solution on the matter enables Novati to provide secure and timely cross-border transactions between Australia and Southeast Asia by leveraging Ripple's payment solution, formerly on-demand liquidity, which uses XRP as a bridge for instant cross-border payments. Novati is able to process thousands of transactions a month while scaling its service to even more fintech customers in Southeast Asia without pre-funding. Loving that. Shout out to both of those gentlemen for that. Then there's this. Now, this is from 8 years ago here, and I want to play this clip here. This is John Barrett, who sits down with David Schwartz about 8 years ago here and ask him some great questions. And inside of this, David is very candid inside of this clip, and he usually is anyway, but think about where we are today. He tells John Barrett how much XRP he holds, the value he believes of the outlook of XRP as long-term and high risk, and he even speaks about what it was like in the early days with XRP and Ripple, the company. Take a listen.
Let me ask you, David, do you yourself hold any XRP?
I do, actually. I hold, I think, something like 16 million XRP.
Good Lord, man. 16 million.
Well, you know, it's funny. I would hold more, and I think the risk reward makes sense. I mean, like if it's a 50% chance that it'll double, it's a good investment, right?
Sure.
The problem is my job, my stock options, to some extent, my professional reputation. You know, like how many eggs can I put in that one basket? You know.
No, that's true. Hey, let me buy $1 million from you. How much for $1 million, man?
I don't know what so the price has been like a roller coaster. So it's like 1.4 cents right now, and it was up at 2.5 just like a month ago.
Oh wow!
and it's been as high as 5 and it's been much lower. I can't figure out what the price depends on. It doesn't seem to correlate with our announcements. I mean, like, we've had major announcements. We announced that we added to the board of directors a former director of the President's National Economic Council, and that didn't seem to have much effect on the price. And we announced big partnerships, and it doesn't. And then all of a sudden, for no reason, the price will just suddenly jump up from half a penny to 2.5 cents.
Wow, that's weird.
Totally don't get it.
Have you been tempted at any point to sell off a certain percentage of your XRP?
No, not really. Not really. When the price goes up, I don't feel tempted to sell. And when the price goes down, I feel tempted to buy. I see it as a long-term high risk, essentially.
Yes. I think that's a good way to look at it. That's realistic.
Yeah. But I have no illusions about the risk. I completely understand the fact that the Ripple Labs could disappear tomorrow. Like, in the beginning, we didn't even know if what we were doing was legal. You know, people were arguing that things like Bitcoins were inherently counterfeit and that they were violations of various federal laws. We don't have that fear, but I always had this sort of philosophy, like, we could disappear at any minute, and that hasn't faded as quickly as perhaps it should.
I think that's...
Well, and you know what? And we know now today that XRP is not a security, but it was very different 8 years ago. And I couldn't be more excited about my high-risk long-term investment myself. I hope David still has every one of his XRP. Lord knows if anybody deserves to have that much and more, it'd be that guy right there, wouldn't it? Shout out to him and shout out to everybody and all the information here that we shared today. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe and leave a comment below. And make sure you check out all the links underneath the video. They're products and services I use each and every day, and even find a good special in there if you click the link today. I'll catch all of you on the next one.